Hey, Composing Gloves here, and this is the 9th video in the Massive from the Ground Up tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about filter frequency modulation down here in the corner. I'm not going to lie, there are parts of this that I just do not understand, but I figured out far more than I could possibly find on various forums and websites and YouTube and wherever I could dig up information, and I'd probably have to go farther into math and coding to totally understand this one, because I think it's probably written in the way the filters are coded, the way the filters work. But I'll tell you what I know, because I can definitely explain, like, I could show you what they do. I just can't explain why they work. So the way this works is there's a filter frequency modulation. All the buttons and knobs and doodads are exactly the same. And you need, but the thing that makes a filter's important, means filter 1 or filter 2. So you have 2 filters here. Haven't covered the filters yet, and I haven't covered resonance yet. So when I get to filters, I'm going to cover resonance. But I don't know. Just as I go, just bear with me, okay? This was a hard thing for me to figure out. So first I'm going to show you how the filter works, or get it to the filters. So I'm going to have a sine wave, which is already on a sine wave, and here's our sine wave. Turn the filter off. There it is. Bang. Okay. Now I have a low pass filter on my filter. You click up here and you select low pass. Now the thing about low pass is it lets low frequencies through. So right now the filter's off. Oh, the filter's on. My bad. Now the filter's off. And as I turn it down, it'll take off all the frequencies down to whatever threshold I set, which is pretty much completely on right now, which would mean all the frequencies. Now the thing about filters is filters can be written so that they behave differently, and some are steeper than others, and there's different methods sort of going about doing this. So that's going to play a role in how this works. That's also why there's 2 different low passes and 2 different high passes and all sorts of like bizarre options like that. And this resonance knob over here, again, I'll explain later, but you'll see what it does right now. So we're going to turn our modulating oscillator on, just leave it at 0, and we're going to put our filter frequency modulation on 1. By the way, at this point, if you have not watched previous videos on ring modulation and things, go back to video 6 and watch it if you do not know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this works as a wet dry knob, just the same as before. We're going to leave it off. I'm going to turn it on slowly. This is going to frequency modulate the parameters coming out of filter 1. Okay? I believe. Okay, that's a belief. It may be modulating the signal. I don't know. To me, I think it's modulating both these parameters individually, and I'll show you why I think that right now. So right now, the filter is on. The filter is on. So no sounds coming out. You can see I'm hitting keys over here. There's stuff happening, but the low pass filter is, for the most part, just killed it. Okay? So that's also important to note if you're a mixer. You do not want that hanging around down there. So now I'm going to turn the modulating oscillator on. I'm going to turn on really slow. And what this is going to do is turn my cutoff knob on and off really slow, which means you should hear spurts coming through, which are not coming through. Oh, I have to turn my FM filter on. There you have it. Pretty much what I expected to happen is you turn it up, it gets faster. Then as you get to 0, there's a problem. And this one took me a bit to figure out, unfortunately. But you have these straight lines. And I know this is flattening it, so that kind of made sense. But just the overall shape with these lines, especially if you start getting quicker, you'll see the filter start to turn on and off as we accelerate slowly. And these straight lines, just the whole behavior of this was throwing me off. And then I had my moment where if you start speeding up a lot, you have all this high frequency stuff, and if you were to slow back down, you have this bizarre middle ground with all these weird, funky lines everywhere. And I'm like, where the heck are these weird high harmonics coming from? And then it hit me. It's also interpreting the resonance. So let's move the resonance knob around. I touched the cutoff knob as well. But yeah, there you have it. So that's where the high frequency content comes from. And I'll cover resonance in a later date, at a later date. So that's how that works, except for there are weird scenarios, okay? So this is where it starts getting weird. So let's say I select the high pass, right? We'd expect it to behave the same, you know, when we turn the pitch up for it to turn on and off, whatever, however it interprets these faster and slower when I turn it down. But get this, when I turn the threshold all the way up, for whatever reason, it doesn't react the same way as the low pass when the low pass is all the way on as well. So let me just make sure. So that's off in this scenario, and the other side is, and this is off, and the other side is on. Man, they should really come up with some sort of dynamic label system or something. So we have our frequency modulation. Turn it all the way down, and we get our spurts again, just like we expected. But then it just disappears. And actually, we did not expect spurts. This is all the way on. See, if low pass was all the way on, it's just a signal. You see it modulating a little bit, which I believe is because of the resonance, but I'm not totally sure. But on the high pass, it comes out in spurts when it's on. And if you turn it all the way on, you get nothing. You see it modulating at super low dynamic levels, but for the most part, you get nothing. You change the resonance, you can change the pitch, and you get a little bit, but it's not anything compared to what we had before. I do not know. But as soon as you turn it down a little bit, something to do with the threshold, you get what we were expecting to happen. It's moving the parameters around. And it looks really cool. At least I think it looks really cool. So that's a behavior I don't quite grasp, but that's what it does. And it works. It doesn't work for all filters, only the ones that it's been programmed to work for. So anything with 3 options doesn't work. So from band reject, scream, you'll notice that it goes dark, like the option just completely disappears. Comb and acid. Acid you can, but there's only 2 knobs. There's a cutoff and a resonance knob. And I believe you can on DAF too. Yeah, you can on DAF, just 2 knobs. So you can do this for filter 1 or filter 2, depending on your routing options. It will change your sound. But that is what the modulation oscillator does. And I hope you enjoy using it. It definitely creates a huge variety of sounds. And you need to know this, because if you're routing, all of a sudden you find a sound you like here, and then you route it weird, and you choose a filter you can't use, and you know, things just can go wrong so fast. So it's important to know what this does. If anyone knows the particular reasons for the behaviors that I was noticing, please tell me. I want to know. Make a video and put it, because that'd probably be easier than email. And yeah, thanks for watching. Check out my music, my website. Join my website if you're not already a member. And have a blessed day. Also, get this video into the hands of those who desire this information, because that is the hardest thing I'm having a time doing right now. Just getting it to people who want to know this stuff.